And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm National Weather Service Meteorologist John Cowen with your Alaska Public Forecast. We'll start off taking a look at a few key points. First of all, we have a winter weather advisory in effect for the Anchorage Bowl through tonight, as well as the Mat-Su Valley. This is going to be for some lingering snow across the area, as well as a few areas of isolated freezing rain. Strong wind and rain moves into the Aleutians and Alaska Panhandle, or rather Alaska Peninsula, tonight as a strong storm moves up from the North Pacific. And then finally, across the North Slope, we have strong winds that are expected to pick up tomorrow into Saturday, and that's going to cause some issues with blowing snow across the region. Here's a look at our hazardous weather map. You can see we have our watches and advisories across the North Slope for that blowing snow, as well as our winter weather advisories for portions of the central interior, generally in the Bettles area, and then down into the Anchorage Bowl for that lingering snow. Across the Bristol Bay coast, we have special weather statements in effect through tomorrow for some strong winds that are going to be picking up in this area as our next storm moves up from the North Pacific. And then finally, coming over to southeast Alaska, across the Panhandle, we have a series of dense fog advisories expected for tonight. Looking at our satellite loop, you can see a front stretches across a good chunk of the Alaska interior, as well as into south central. Now, this is the system that's bringing us our snow today. We do expect this to weaken overnight pretty significantly and become less of a factor as our next system, which is this guy down here south of Adak. This will be working its way into the picture over the next day or so, bringing some fairly strong winds and a lot of rain into portions of southwestern Alaska as well as the peninsula. So here's our outlook for the rest of today. You can see we have a front that stretches between these two low pressure systems, one in the central Bering Sea and one in the northern Gulf of Alaska. These will both be weakening over the next couple of days. However, they will continue to support some unsettled weather. And then our next big system will be this one moving in from the North Pacific. So by tonight, we'll see this one start to creep in a little bit closer to the central Aleutians, down to 959 millibars, so a very strong storm. These tight isobars here do mean that we're going to have some very strong winds in this area, and then that'll be moving into the Bristol Bay area later on tomorrow. Our low here in the northern Gulf of Alaska will continue to weaken, but again, we'll support those mixed rain and snow showers across much of the immediate coast. And then finally, over the interior, we do have one little weak easterly wave that will support some lingering snow showers across the area. However, by Friday, we do expect conditions to be generally improving across much of the interior. Again, these weak little waves will keep moving from east to west across much of the coast. However, impacts will be significantly diminished from what we're experiencing today. So by Friday, our low will be down to 960 millibars, still a very potent system with some very strong winds that stretch from Kodiak Island into Bristol Bay and much of the eastern and central Aleutians. And then finally on Saturday, we still have our low out here in the Gulf of Alaska. However, it will continue to weaken through this time. So expect the winds to come down pretty significantly by Saturday. However, mixed rain and snow along much of the coast, including the Panhandle at this point. So plenty of precipitation, but the wind should at least be dying down. And then conditions generally looking pretty favorable across much of the central interior. High pressure building over Canada is going to help to clear out a lot of that precipitation. However, we do still have some snow showers expected for the North Slope. Let's take a look at your temperature outlook across southeast Alaska. We can see temperatures Friday morning bottoming out in the low to mid 30s generally across most of the northern Panhandle. Southern areas in the 40s or along the immediate coastline, we expect temperatures on either side of 40 degrees. And then coming back over towards the Anchorage Bowl, Friday morning temperatures just below freezing for most of the Cook Inlet area. And then again along most of the immediate coast in the mid to upper 30s. High temperatures Friday afternoon along the immediate coast, looking to get up into the mid 40s. Interior areas of the Cook Inlet, the Anchorage Bowl, looking at mid to high 30s for that area, and then generally cooler as we move our way north. Over the Panhandle, temperatures top out generally in the 40s, low 40s in the northern part of the Panhandle, and then farther south pushing 50 degrees. Low temperatures Saturday morning, same story, generally around freezing for the northern part of the Panhandle, either side of 40 for the southern half. And then coming back towards the Anchorage Bowl, temperatures really not getting too low for this time of year, just right around freezing for the Anchorage Bowl, teens up in the Copper River Valley, and then 40s along the immediate coast. Saturday afternoon, temperatures warming up into the mid to upper 40s across much of the coast, and even pushing 40 in Anchorage. And then for the Panhandle, again pushing 50 for the southern half, and then temperatures in the low to mid 40s for the northern Panhandle. Let's take a look at the northern half of the state. Friday morning low temperatures, single digits below zero is what we can expect for the coldest areas of the Brooks Range. Up along the coast near Utqiagvik, we can expect temperatures in the upper teens to low 20s. This is going to be mainly because we have plenty of open water still off the coast here. That's going to help moderate our temperatures over the next few days. Temperatures top out in the mid to upper 20s along the immediate coastline. Still some single digits near zero in the Brooks Range. Saturday morning temperatures again bottoming out in the low single digits to single digits below zero, still in the 20s along the immediate coast, and we can expect these moderate temperatures really until we get some significant ice cover offshore. And then Saturday afternoon, temperatures again in the mid-20s or so along the immediate coast, single digits in the Brooks Range. Coming over towards southwest Alaska and the Aleutians. Friday morning low temperatures bottoming out in the mid to upper 30s for most of the Aleutians. Either side of freezing along the immediate coast of southwestern Alaska and the Delta, and then getting significantly cooler as we go farther into the interior. Saturday afternoon, temperatures in the mid to upper 40s for much of the Aleutians. Near 40 to upper 30s along the immediate coastline, and then again cooler as we move into the interior. Same story for Saturday morning, temperatures again bottoming out in the mid to upper 30s for the Aleutians, cooler as we move north. And then Saturday afternoon, high temperatures will reach the mid to upper 40s along the Aleutians, near freezing along the Delta, and then into the 20s as we get into the western interior. So here's our temperature outlook for the 6 to 10 day range. You can see significantly warmer than average temperatures expected for most of the southern and eastern half of Alaska. Our precipitation outlook again is looking fairly above normal for southeastern Alaska. A little bit less as we get up towards the northwestern portions of the state, but still above average. And that's all we have for today. I'm National Weather Service meteorologist John Cowen. Thanks for joining us.